has taken over. Let's go. It's Ferrall. Coast to coast. Steaks, chicks, stacks. You and I are going to make a lot of money. It's Ferrall, coast to coast. It's pain-free Friday. Ferrall's doling out minutes on the mahogany, waxing it up. 100, 200, a bad seed, a bad apple with a bad attitude. We are live in New York City, the Big Apple. Ooh. People dressed in plastic bags, directed traffic, some kind of fashion shake it up, should do be. Along with the Tutty and Tater King, the rights holder of the Sheet of Integrity, the Put It With the Golf guru himself, the founder of the Aisle Seat podcast, Carver High this afternoon, ladies. Mafia running it with Luke. I am your father. The rundown. We got a double shot with Morency from British Columbia this very hour. Plus, at the bottom of the hour, Jerry Palm from CBS Sports, the bracketologist. At 4:14 Eastern in the second hour, allegedly, Dr. Zhivago, Dr. David Chow from Sports Injury Central, SICScore.com. And in the second hour, half hour after that, Bill Michaels, the legend from the Bill Michaels Show, all over the great state of cheese, Wisconsin, joining us on this very day. Luke already saw it. I am drowning in hotties. 34C has all of her smoke show friends staying here over the weekend in the Varela Palatial, and they are already hitting it, Carver High. They're out and about already. And tonight they are going to the number one, bar none, pickup joint in the area where all of the trouble happens. Of course, 34C would take her friends to the pickup joint to score men that they don't know. It's all evolving rapidly around here for me. I don't know how I'm going to handle it. I think with alcohol.
What is that all about? Why is everybody staying at your house? Are they from out of town or something? How did you get everybody
her mom died and her sister's in hospice. So they all flew in from different cities to have a cheer her up weekend with the girls, and they weren't even here 5 minutes, and the wine bottles were popping, the corks were popping, they were drinking shots of tequila. It is all happening. Uber drivers, the whole deal in the big city.
Yeah, you got to have it, especially if you're going to go that hard. You got to make sure that you've got all those backup precautions in place.
Valves.
So that's fair. Safety valves. Got to have those indeed. All right. Happy Friday.
Yes, sir.
Pain-free Friday here on Coast to Coast. As we have, we finally made it. A whole week of talking.
It's time.
A whole week of waiting. I mean, even when we leave here today, we still got to get through another couple days before we get to Sunday afternoon and Sunday night for these games. But the NFC and NFC title game will take place this week. We will find out who's going to New Orleans with you by Sunday night. Philadelphia and Washington in the first game at 3 o'clock. And then one more time around for the Bills and the Chiefs, Allen, Mahomes, etc. In the second game. As I've said to you more and more as the week has gone on, let's get it on already. Enough of the talk. I can't do it anymore. I want to get on the field, and I want to finally beat these guys. I want to see it happen. Let's go, baby.
I mean, it's, skip a Saturday, holiday tomorrow. Although there's a ton of great college basketball, it is still an unnecessary roughness Saturday. Who needs Saturday when Sunday you've got a doubleheader, a pain day, championship Sunday? And I mean, from the link in Philadelphia with the stripper pole and brisket, free brisket, I might add, and also the nightcap from Arrowhead. Are you kidding me? The Bills and Chiefs, the legacy continues, the rivalry continues. Also, I'm still just absolutely diehard about if the Bills win, Carver High going to New Orleans. I am on a mission from God. The Bills need to win, and you need to go with us to New Orleans, even if it means staying in my room. I don't care what anyone thinks. You cannot not be at the media week at the Super Bowl when the Bills are going to play the Commanders for the world. You have to be there. I will not stop talking about it until it comes to fruition. They will hate me. They already hate me. They will hate me more. I will not stop floundering. I will do anything to get you there because you have to be there with your team when they go for their first Super Bowl win in glory. And we want to put a bocce jinx, a hex, black cloud diner all over Patrick Mahomes and his teammates from this day forward. Mafia, get out the book of jinxes and play some bocce jinx on the entire Chiefs organization at this hour. A bocce jinx of nothing but bad luck and fumbles and interceptions and diarrhea. I pray that they all get sick tomorrow and have 48-hour flu.
Now, look, I think that the Bills could beat them in a straight-up capacity this time around. I really do believe that they can do that they're well-equipped to do that. But, man, wouldn't it be nice if maybe just once your boy made like a huge mistake, like Mahomes? What if he just once if he made
the game deciding pick six hizzy,
some crucial pick six, or he does like a Lamar fumble last week over his head and kicks it down the field? Like, can't there be a mistake once that goes the Bills' way and not the Chiefs' way?
Sunday night, it will happen. Games? It is written. It is done.
I have said to you, I truly believe last week was the game that worried me most. And I know it's the Chiefs. You're always worried when you play the Chiefs. But I just feel like every year they have fine-tuned this team and changed this team a little bit more
and they keep
to
losing.
Try to beat Kansas City. Well, look, they lose to them in the playoffs. They beat them in the regular season. They have to find a way to flip that. It's not like they don't know how to beat them or haven't beaten them. They just haven't beaten them, obviously, when the game has mattered more. So they need to finally get out of that. Because if they don't do it this week
in the playoffs, they need to win the game. No more nonsense. No more 13 seconds. No more bad decisions. Be smart.
God, I had to watch
no turnovers.
That clip 600
no mistakes.
Times today.
No holdings. No penalties. Play like men together as a team and win the effing game.
I've had to watch that. I've seen that clip on Twitter like 600 times today. I guess today's the anniversary of that, the 13-second game. So that's been like in the timeline all day long. Watching that.
I don't care. I will not watch that nonsense. I have already lit a candle for the Bills. I have placed a jinx on the entire Chiefs organization. There is nothing left to do except execute.
We will do that. So we're going to talk about both the games. Let's also, we have couple other head coaching vacancies filled. Liam Cohen will be the Jacksonville Jaguars. I know, that's why I mentioned him first to get him out of the way. And in Las Vegas, 73-year-old Pete Carroll.
You have got to be kidding me.
Baby.
I mean, honestly.
Back in the game. Your thoughts on Pete?
Repeatedly that I have no interest at all in some 74. When that season kicks off, he'll be 74 years old. When he finishes the job, allegedly, he'll be 76. And if he coaches all 3 years, they'll pick up his option. He'll be 77 years old. I mean, when do people ever just call it a day and go away? He's already had all his glory. All I keep hearing about today is how great of a hire it is for Grandpa Jones. Are you kidding me? This guy is so old. I cannot believe that he is now the head coach of the Raiders. Just go away already, for Christ's sakes.
So my team didn't win this weekend, but I still did with this app that's taking over the game. Sports Millions Pick'em lets you make quick and easy predictions. Pick your favorite players, go higher or lower, and you can still win big even if your team loses. Plus, the multiplier is insane. With just a few picks, you can win big money. So get on it. They've got a welcome bonus to help you start off your winning streak.
they have a lot of hopes, and they thought last year they were turning the corner. Even early this year, they start turning the corner, and then you lose 13 games in a row.
Edmonton chipped away, got a late goal, won the game 4-3. I felt like they dominated the third period. They moved the puck on that power play. It was an exceptional hockey game. It went over the total.
Only on SportsGrid.
The two guys that can do it all.
Too much electricity this morning.
This is a good time. We're having a lot of fun.
I had to do a triple take.
Ka-ching!
Why? Because of parity.
I didn't mean to offend.
Yeah, it's not going to happen.
Load management is a dirty word.
Let him rip.
You know what? Circumstances provide the results.
What?
How do you do this one? Oh, Donnie, you got such a good show there.
A network that is booming.
The Early Line. Only on SportsGrid.
There is going to be an energy to game time decisions that you will feel night in and night out. We're going to go through every single thing, and I've got a great team behind me that's going to help me get the job done. I want this to be the place that people come to. We are going to hit every single one of those markets that you need to know about. There is not going to be a better place, I promise you, than Game Time Decisions. We will have everything at our disposal, and we will use that to our advantage. I'm Kevin Walsh. Tune into Game Time Decisions from 6 to 8 p.m. Eastern on SportsGrid.
Your gut says Miami is going to win, and you should take the over. Your gut also said your NFT selfies would only go up in value. They didn't. But your head is on SportsGrid and knows the QB is in concussion protocol. The backup has a 45 QBR against the zone coverage. The New York D has the most sacks in the league. So yeah, trust your head. It's smarter to be on SportsGrid.
Catch Sports Rage weeknights at 10 Eastern until midnight along all of our outlets on TV and radio. You can catch Morency on Coast to Coast every day from British Columbia. Thank God for that. Why do you think it ended in Seattle for Pete Carroll? That it had run its course, that it got stale, that he was too old. People said he was the youngest 72-year-old guy they'd ever seen. He'd run up and down the sidelines. Now he's 73. He'll be 74 when the season starts, and now he's the coach of the Raiders. But why do you think it ended in Seattle? Because now all of a sudden, he's found the fountain of youth, and he's going to, turn back the clock and do great things with the Raiders because honest to Christ, when you know what this says to me, and I'm a huge, I'm not interested in it. I'm not interested in, I've already heard I'm old and washed up, not only in basketball, but in TV and radio. I'm 59 years old. Will I make it till I'm 65? Gabe, you and I got a bright future. If everyone we know is working when they're 75, 80 years old, honestly, now I used to work with a guy at CBS. I loved him to death, and I was great friends with him, the schmoozer. But when he was 72, you should have seen people talking behind his back about how old he was. He was a geezer. He needs to go away. It's over. He's finished. He's washed. He doesn't have it anymore. That's all I ever heard behind his back. And they were all a bunch of backstabbers. Who wants old people working when they're 75, 80 years old, except at Walmart being a greeter? Honest to Christ. And people say, oh, that's age discrimination. Well, then I'm age discrimination number one.
Well, the thing with Pete Carroll is the guy can coach. Just point blank. Players like him. The guy can coach. I'm not really worried about his age, to be honest with you. Andy Reid, 66.
It's a big difference.
Nick Saban was in the semifinals last year. How old is Nick Saban? 71, right? 72, in the same type of era. It's all about, can you relate to the players? And Pete Carroll can relate to players. And Pete Carroll did a good job in Seattle. His problem was at the end, he had a team full of veterans, right? And it ran its course, and they had the same team. And Pete Carroll's like one of these, he's a raw guy, right? He's a raw coach. He's super positive. And you heard Seattle Seahawks players that have been there a long time. like the Richard Shermans, like the vets, but they were kind of jerks to him at the end, right? We've heard his speeches 10 times before, and now we just put our headphones on, and there's nothing you can tell us we haven't heard before. But when you get a new young group of players that are going to buy in, very similar to Sean Payton. Sean Payton's younger, obviously, but Sean Payton showed up in Denver last year. His message didn't work, Scott. Just point blank, right? Russell Wilson's like, dude, like, don't talk to me like this. Jerry Jeudy's like, whatever, bro, right? Like a lot of like older players and sort of, you know what I mean, attitude players, veteran players, they didn't like Sean Payton. And what happened last year was a disaster. Sean Payton had his own quarterback. He had more, you know what I mean, more younger players, yes, sir, no, sir types on the team, and it worked out well for him. So I still think Carroll can coach. My deal with this is just sort of with the Raiders is that it's not about Pete Carroll. It's just more about it's just another Band-Aid. Like, is Pete Carroll going to be your coach for another 5 years? I mean, what's the long-term plan here? The Raiders have always kicked the can down the road when it comes to selecting a quarterback and figuring out a franchise quarterback. Now they just sort of went for a temporary fix once again for the head coaching position. But I'll tell you, I mean, it's funny. People will do cartwheels. And, oh, my God, Ben Johnson. Oh, no one knows if Ben Johnson's going to be a good coach or not. Ben Johnson called some plays for a team that, all right, lost in the playoffs. And now people, he's going to be the next Bill Walsh and the greatest coach ever. Nobody knows. At least you know what you're getting from Pete Carroll. The last thing about it that gets me, too, is that it's amazing that Pete Carroll was responsible for winning Tom Brady a Super Bowl by essentially letting them throw the ball on the 1-yard line. And now Tom Brady hires him as his coach years later. There's just it's weird how it comes full circle. But, Scott, football is old. Put it this way. People are running for presidents that are 80 years old. So people can run the country. Now, I don't agree with it. I do.
How'd that work out for the guy with early Alzheimer's and his, like, that guy can't even talk? What happened to him? They replaced him in the middle of the race.
Yeah, but the guy that just won is just as old. Like, so, you know what I mean?
Not quite. He's not quite. And I'll tell you one thing.
I'll tell you what
I'll give you this.
Older than Pete Carroll.
Has his bearings.
He's older than Pete Carroll.
Let me ask you, do you think that Belichick and Carroll are going to win?
Well, win is a strong word. I mean,
we're in a business of winning and losing here.
Well, when's the last time North Carolina won, Scott? Never.
Listen, but they think he's going to win.
No, they don't. Their win total is 7.5. No one in North Carolina thinks they're going to win a title. They want to make it to a good bowl.
So they just hired him to have that face there and just know that we have Bill Belichick and we don't care if we win.
Similar. Look at them. You want to talk about like veteran guys? Look, bro, they just went from Mac Brown to Bill Belichick. You know what I mean? Like they were just looking for stability.
Yeah,
like
I just don't think it worked.
Yeah, but Bill Belichick's not going to it's not like star kids are going to start lining up to play for Bill Belichick. And secondly, it's not like they have the money for it.
He's dating, which God bless him, he's dating a chick that's 1 year removed from college.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Should help him recruit.
I know she should be in
Bring
charge
her friends.
of recruiting.
Bring her friends. You know what I'm saying?
Kager at Bill's Friday night.
No, you can't say Carroll. That's what I'm talking about. It's like, Pete Carroll's old. Oh, Belichick's girlfriend's 24. Clearly, they don't mind being around younger people.
How do you think Carroll will do at the craps table? You think they'll see him down on the strip at all?
Yeah, probably will. I could see him talking it up with the dealers and stuff like that. But the Raiders, Scott, I saw Adam Hill, who's a great guy, covers the Raiders for the Review Journal. I saw a piece this morning. 5 things the Raiders need to do, and I was gonna put like, hey Adam, I think you missed the 0. Don't you mean 50 things?
Yeah.
Like, the Raiders don't have a 5-thing list, Scott. Like, if you take over the Raiders, bro, like, there's a lot to it, right? There's, you know what I mean? They don't have a very good roster. You got no quarterback. It's a mess. Yeah, it's a mess. Got a nice stadium, though.
When we come back, we'll talk about the NFC and AFC title games. It's Friday. It's time to throw down with Morency.
Need help with your NFL picks? Get NFL insider knowledge from Pro Football Doc, Dr. David Chow, with Sick Picks at Sports Injury Central. We reveal hidden injury advantages the sports books miss. Our doctors provide insights, and our algorithm tells you who to bet on. Spreads, player props, totals, in-game bets, Sick Picks covers it all. Get a free week now with promo code SportsGrid at SickScore.com.
Your gut says Miami is going to win, and you should take the over. Your gut also said your NFT selfies would only go up in value. They didn't. But your head is on SportsGrid and knows the QB is in concussion protocol. The backup has a 45 QBR against the zone coverage. The New York D has the most sacks in the league. So yeah, trust your head. It's smarter to be on SportsGrid.
Anyone that's been to a sporting event, the atmosphere before a game, I think Game Time Decisions has that same exact atmosphere. This is our arena. This is what we do. There is going to be an energy to Game Time Decisions that you will feel night in and night out. The excitement you get when you lock your bets in, when you're figuring out what you want to do, we can zone in on the biggest games each night. I want this to be the place that people come to before the games start so they feel as ready as possible to lock in their cards. We are going to hit every single one of those markets that you need to know about. We're going to go through every single thing, and I've got a great team behind me that's going to help me get the job done. There is not going to be a better place, I promise you, than Game Time Decisions to get that new information, react to it, and be able to then bet accordingly. We will have everything at our disposal, and we will use that to our advantage. I'm Kevin Walsh. Tune into Game Time Decisions from 6 to 8 p.m. Eastern on SportsGrid.
So we're talking to Morency, and we'll go in reverse order. The Bills and Chiefs are the late game on Sunday at Arrowhead. And obviously, Mahomes owns the Bills in the playoffs. The Bills have to beat Patrick Mahomes and that Chiefs defense on Sunday night, or it's going to be the same old story. Kansas City going back to another Super Bowl. Are they going to get it done or not?
I think they will. I think the Buffalo Bills are a better team than the Chiefs. The Chiefs, listen, you got to respect what they've done. It's been an awesome run, but we've all seen their flaws. But there's a difference, like between being the better team and then being the better team in a big moment. Because it's easier to be the better team in a regular season. It's easier to be the better team on paper. It's easier to be the better team stat-wise. And hell, the Houston Texans were the better team last week. Right? The Texans went up and down the field on the Kansas City Chiefs. Patrick Mahomes was running for his life, and the Chiefs still find a way. You know, the Chiefs have won 11 straight one-score games, right? So they're 11-0 in one-score games this year, which is just insane. So it goes to show there's the big saying all the time with teams like we just want, when you're playing a big-time team, let's just try to get into the fourth quarter in a close game and take our chances. That's what KC wants you to do, right? KC are almost like, it's almost like it's like a setup. It's like they let you walk into the bank and start robbing the bank, and meanwhile, like the SWAT patrol are just waiting outside for you, right? And they're like, let them go through the motions, and we'll get them on the way out. And then you come out, and then they get you. Yet at some point, someone's going to go out the back door, and they're going to be waiting in the front, right? Like the Chiefs, it's not like they're blowing anybody out. Like, just point blank. So if the Chiefs win, it's going to be in a super, super close game because that's the only way they can win unless the referees give them 30 free yards and penalties at critical times, which they did, right? Which they did against Houston. So we saw Houston move the ball on that vaunted KC defense. We saw the Texans get all over Patrick Mahomes as well. So if I'm looking at this, if I'm the Bills, I can't be in a close game. You know what I mean? Like, it can't be 24-23 with a minute left because Butker's going to kick a field goal. They're going to find a way to lose. They've got to just not blow them out, Scott, but they've got to be ahead. sort of like they were against Baltimore. They had enough of a cushion as they started to blow it late. You know what I'm saying? Like, even if Baltimore would have got the 2, it would have been tied only. So it was like, okay, we got that lead. I don't trust the Bills in big games in tight spots. Like, that's not McDermott's strength. McDermott does a lot of things great as the head coach. Coaching a 24-24 game with 2 minutes left and making a decision is not one of them. All right? We've seen this in the past, and it's not really Mahomes that beats them, Scott. Mahomes beat them once. It's more Chris Jones and Spagnuolo and Reed. Like, it's more the defense. To me, Chris Jones, the most valuable player on that team. And I think Josh Allen's just going to run him over. I think the Bills are going to win. I think the game goes over the number. I don't think it sails over, but I think it's like 31-26 type of deal. Bills are going to have a little bit of a cushion. They're going to be up by like 4 or 5. There'll be some drama late, but I think the Bills will finally survive.
So the last 3 times they've been in this position, did you say the same stuff?
No. That's the whole thing. I mean, it's a little bit deceptive to use them. Number one, they played in 2020. All right, Mahomes was young. I'll give it to him, but Mahomes was also a stud. Like, the Bills are obviously better. Josh Allen is a better quarterback now than he was 5 years ago. There's no disputing that. Like, he is. So that was their little first.
How many times did you take him in the other 3 games?
Last year, last year there wasn't a good mojo about the Bills. So, you know, no one really thought the Bills were going to win the Super Bowl in Bills Mafia world last year, right? You know, they weren't playing well. They had the turmoil with Diggs. It didn't have that feel. They didn't have that it factor about them. And even then, they lost 27-24 after Bass missed 2 field goals in the fourth quarter, right? So they were right there.
Kansas City last year.
I don't think the past matters, Scott. Like, they're not playing. It's about this Sunday. It's about these matchups.
Who do you like in the NFC title game?
I think the Eagles are going to find a way to survive again. Eagles find a way to survive, but I'll take the Commanders plus the points. I took the Commanders plus the Lions. I'll keep it rolling here, but I could see Philadelphia surviving and winning by 3 points, like they did last. They survived last week against the Rams. They survived again.
Did you bet on the Bills last year against the Chiefs?
Yeah, but I didn't hammer it. It wasn't like the bet of the year for me.
All right, good luck, buddy.
Second full year under new ownership to really be where they are right now for this Commanders franchise is one of the best stories of this NFL season.
Went to the playoffs and won 2 road games. Now we're going to use that. Hey, rookie quarterback on? No more rookie quarterback. He's already arrived in the NFL as a legitimate quarterback. And can you say, Ben, is he already top 5?
The Early Line. Only on SportsGrid.
He did nothing for 5 weeks. So he is becoming his brother. So I don't want to hear about how great TJ Watt is with his 0 playoff wins. And he's the first guy to admit it. He comes right out and says, I've never won a playoff game. I don't matter. All right, at least we all know who the best player on the team is. It's George Pickens. If you don't believe that, well, then screw you too.
Ferrall, coast to coast. Only on SportsGrid.
We'll see if they get McCain back. Kelly Oubre, Yabusele's been good. Caleb Martin's a defensive specialist. Andre Drummond can still give you, almost a double-double at any point. I can't go south on this team. And now you're giving it to me at 2-1 to make the playoffs? To be in the Final 8? Folks, give me the Philadelphia 76ers to make the playoffs at plus 210.
Betting above the rim. Only on SportsGrid.
We all know MVPs don't win the Super Bowl. It's not about MVPs, man. The only MVP, fine. Win the MVP in the Super Bowl. Nobody cares about the MVP in the regular season besides people that bet on it, the actual player themselves, and their agent that's getting a cut of the bonus money. Other than that, who cares? What do you care who wins the MVP? Like I said, unless you bet on it. Right? If you bet on it, fine. Then I guess you care.
Sports Rage tonight. only on SportsGrid.
Gary Palm is the great bracketologist from CBS Sports and a regular here on Coast to Coast. He's going to Mackey tonight to see Purdue play Michigan in a battle of two ranked teams. They got a couple of 7-footers. They mean business. Dusty May's doing a great job. And I couldn't believe my eyes when Purdue lost to Ohio State at Mackey. They never lose at Mackey. They had a 26, 27 game, something home winning streak there in West Lafayette. They lost. And that was after Indiana had beat Ohio State in Columbus in overtime by a point. And Indiana's awful. So I couldn't make, anything of it. I don't know what to think of what I saw other than disbelief. Now tonight you got your hands full with this Wolverine team.
Yeah, the Ohio State game, I think, just came too soon after this cross-country trip that Purdue was on. And you're out at Rutgers, then you come home for a home game, then you're out in the Pacific Northwest, and the Oregon game is a particular rock fight. And I just think they caught, Purdue with tired legs, and especially in the second half of that game, they couldn't hit a shot to save their lives. And that was, and even still, they had a shot at the end to try and catch it. They just didn't look like they had their legs. And then we'll see. Now, 3 days later, they're playing Michigan, although they haven't had to travel now, Purdue, so maybe they'll be a little more comfortable on the home court tonight.
What's their slot? Do you still have them? What's their seed right now in your latest bracketology?
Yeah, the one I did today, they're still a 3. But obviously, they've got an advantageous schedule right here. They've got 4 out of 5 at home, 3 in a row. They lost the first one. They get Michigan, and then next Friday is Indiana. So I think that's their week off in their schedule. And then they're on the road, and then they come back home again. So 4 out of 5 at home for Purdue, and it's a time where they really have to take advantage of it. The Ohio State game, not a very good start to that, but still a chance to do really well here over the next couple of weeks.
They'll kill Indiana. They're awful. Tennessee and Auburn tomorrow at Neville. Is Broom going to play?
Well, Bruce Pearl said he was a game-time decision. And to me, game-time decision means he's probably going to play. That's obviously that would be great for Auburn if he can go. You're probably going to need him in a game like this. So, I think it sounds like a game-time decision always sounds positive to me. I think most of the time, game-time decision means good.
Georgia's playing in Gainesville this weekend, and then they get, I think, a bunch of home games in Athens after that. Are they in decent shape, the Bulldogs?
Well, they don't have to win in Gainesville, but then they do have to start taking advantage of the schedule as it gets a little bit lighter. I mean, the SEC only gets so light. I have 13 teams from the SEC in my bracket today, so you're playing at least one a week, tournament quality team, or at least potential tournament quality team. But Georgia has to take advantage after this game of a schedule that's going to be a little bit more friendly because lately it hasn't been friendly and they've been getting beat. So they need to get things turned around. They're fortunate that they don't have to win in Gainesville, and there's still plenty of season to go. But they do have to take advantage of the chances that are ahead.
Auburn's the number 1 overall seed. Duke, the number 2 overall seed. Duke at Winston-Salem tomorrow, a place where the Deeks are, I think, unbeaten this year, if I'm not mistaken. Will that be a hard game for the Blue Devils?
Well, it can be. They're going to play with confidence, and they've had their moments this year. They just beat North Carolina. Now, this is not, your typical North Carolina, but still, they play with confidence on their home floor. This would be a huge feather in their cap. This is the team that's got a really low net ranking, which is really more about margin of victory than it is, your record or your strength of schedule. But still, Wake Forest can't really afford to get blown out. They need to be competitive and maybe even step up and get the win.
How do you think Houston will do at Fog Allen this weekend?
About the same as everybody does. You go home with a loss. Now, West Virginia won there earlier this year. But for the most part, if you go into fog, you're probably going home with a loss. And, Houston still does not have a quad one win. They're number 3 in the net. They do not have a quad one win as we speak. So, this is a chance to obviously, make a statement that this Houston team is actually the Houston team that we're used to seeing, because they really haven't had too many chances to try and prove that yet.
I watched that Illinois-Michigan State game at Breslin. I thought it was terrific. But Illinois is kind of cracking a little bit at the seams right now. Maryland just beat their ass. And now Maryland, I think, plays Indiana next. Is that about right?
Yeah, I believe at IU this weekend, Sunday. So, yeah, Illinois had the flu bug going through the team. Ivicic didn't play. I think he's arguably their best player. He's their second leading scorer, but I think he's their best player. And so, if you're sluggish because you've got this thing going through your team, it shows up in a game like this. And Maryland really took advantage, in particular, of their 7-footer not being on the floor. So, great win for Maryland, though. They really needed something like that. Now they need to go into Indiana. That's a game basically of two teams that would be right around the cut line. So, it's an important game for both of these teams because you're trying to separate from each other, and the winner is going to take another step in that direction.
Indiana's, they played 3 of 4 on the road. They lost 3 of 4. They won at Ohio State. Now they're home for this game. Then they play the 3 of 4 on the road again. My God. And the games that they play on the road are Purdue, Wisconsin, and Michigan State. They're going to lose all 3 of them.
Yeah, I mean, that is a rough stretch of schedule. If it's 3 out of 4 on the road, I mean, that's never going to be great. But when the 3 are those teams, Purdue, Wisconsin, Michigan State, boy, that home game's really important in that stretch of games because it might be the only one you have a chance to win. So, yeah, for Indiana did not get a very favorable schedule in this part of it because it ends up being 6 out of 9 on the road. Now, obviously, it's going to get softer because it does even up eventually, but you have to survive this part of your schedule for the rest of your schedule to have a chance to be meaningful.
So, Nebraska, did they fall out of the tournament with that loss to USC right now for the time being?
Yeah, that's their 5th loss in a row and the worst of those 5 losses. So, yeah, Nebraska fell out of my bracket today, finally. I forget who they're playing this weekend. Oh, they're at Wisconsin. So a chance for them to take a big step in the right direction because Wisconsin is having a surprisingly good year. I've got them as a 4 seed in the bracket. So, this would be a big win if Nebraska can get it. But they just need to get something positive going because 5 losses in a row. I saw them at Purdue. They were never in that game. That was as bad a game as I bet they've played all year. But they've got to get something positive going if they're going to make the NCAA tournament.
I got to be honest. Alabama, you have a 1 seed in Iowa State as well, and they both are very deserving, and they both have just been kicking teams' asses lately.
Yeah, I mean that's partly why they're there. They've been dominant in the games in which they should be dominant, and Tennessee, they've got Auburn at home this weekend. We already talked about that. Iowa State is winning that league, and Duke is. Those 4 teams have really, they haven't entirely separated themselves because the second SEC team on that line kind of rotates around a little bit, and it could eventually be someone that's not in the SEC. But for now, there's 2 SEC teams on that top line, and Alabama, Tennessee. Those teams keep trading back and forth. Florida, maybe Kentucky have been up there for a bit too. So the top of this league is really, really strong. 8 teams in the top 16 of the bracket from the SEC.
So you have St. John's and 8. They're automatic this year after they got left out last year. Patino's done a hell of a job with this team.
Yeah, they have. There's nothing automatic about it unless they win their league, but they're on a good track to make it so that the committee doesn't have to really make a decision about them this year.
All right, listen, Jerry, have a great time at Mackey tonight. Enjoy that great game with Michigan and Purdue. Should be awesome. Have a fantastic weekend. Always a pleasure, my friend.
second full year under new ownership to really be where they are right now for this Commanders franchise is one of the best stories of this NFL season.
Went to the playoffs and won 2 road games. Now we're going to use that. Hey, rookie quarterback on? No more rookie quarterback. He's already arrived in the NFL as a legitimate quarterback. And can you say, Ben, is he already top 5?
The Early Line. Only on SportsGrid.
He did nothing for 5 weeks. So he is becoming his brother. So I don't want to hear about how great TJ Watt is with his 0 playoff wins. And he's the first guy to admit it. He comes right out and says, I've never won a playoff game. I don't matter. All right, at least we all know who the best player on the team is. It's George Pickens. If you don't believe that, well, then screw you, too.
Ferrall, coast to coast. Only on SportsGrid.
We'll see if they get McCain back. Kelly Oubre, Yabusele's been good. Caleb Martin's a defensive specialist. Andre Drummond can still give you, almost a double-double at any point. I can't go south on this team. And now you're giving it to me at 2-1 to make the playoffs? To be in the Final 8? Folks, give me the Philadelphia 76ers to make the playoffs at plus 210.
Betting above the rim. Only on SportsGrid.
We all know MVPs don't win the Super Bowl. It's not about MVPs, man. The only MVP, fine. Win the MVP of the Super Bowl. Nobody cares about the MVP of the regular season besides people that bet on it, the actual player themselves, and their agent that's getting a cut of the bonus money. Other than that, who cares? What do you care who wins the MVP? Like I said, unless you bet on it. Right? If you bet on it, fine. Then I guess you care.
Sports Rage tonight. Only on SportsGrid.
So I just want to give you really quick, Carver High, the Jerry's, first 4, like the teams that he's got going into these games in Dayton. New Mexico against North Carolina, San Diego State against Texas, Moorhead against Colgate, and LIU against Howard. Those are the teams. The last one's in. And so you don't see any Indiana there. And I'm telling you, you don't see Nebraska there. You don't see any of these. If you don't win, you're not going to the NCAA tournament. We continue on a Friday, and we're going to dive into the NFL title games and start with the Eagles and Commanders because that's the early one at the Link in Philly.
That is the first game, 3 o'clock East on Sunday. We were telling you yesterday how much the tickets cost. If you'd like to get a seat for this game, weather's going to be very good as we have an NFC East division matchup for a spot in the Super Bowl. Of course, the Eagles were just there a couple of years ago when they lost to the Chiefs out in Arizona. Big win last week. They get the game at home now. Still some more work to do. Nick Sirianni, got to stay focused, got to keep playing our game.
Yeah, our business is this next game. Not thinking about anything else. I think, we kind of talked about, when you get a win like that, all that does is make us more hungry. To go out and do it again. More hungry?
It's like hungrier, Coach.
Both are acceptable? Okay. And so,
not really.
That's just about enjoy it. And that's just another way, to be quite honest with you, that's just another way to say, hey, let's get back to work.
More hungry.
Let's enjoy this and let's get back to work. You could say it that way. You could say, hey, we got business to handle. We got unfinished business to handle, but we know that the work that you put in through the week is what preps you for the games. None of us just show up at the game and expect results.
Yeah, listen, I don't believe for a minute they don't think about what's at the end of the line. I mean, when you're playing in this game, you are thinking about one thing and one thing only. Win, and you're in the Super Bowl. There is no, we're not thinking about anything else. Yeah, sure, dude. Whatever. They know exactly what's at stake here. Everyone in these games that plays like it's just another game and toils that line, it's getting so stale. Acting like this isn't an enormous Sunday of 2 games and that it's just another, day at the office. It's that line has gotten so stale and weak. It's just pathetic. I'm sick of hearing it. I don't want to hear it. I want somebody to go, I mean, this is it right here. Like the guy yesterday on the guy on the Bills, I'm drinking a case of beer if we lose. I mean, that's it. I'm hitting a case. And if we win, it's party time. So just admit what you're dealing with here. This is the title game. It's for all the marbles.
That's what it's all about. More hungry from Nick Sirianni. More hungry?
Whatever.
No, at least he
That's
stopped
why he's
to
a
ask
football coach.
before he moved on. Jalen Hurts, as we know, got beat up last Sunday in that game against the Rams. I think if this was a regular season game, I don't think he'd be playing. I know you'll talk to Doc more about that later on. But it does seem like he is always very banged up as we get this late in the year. He says, what do you want me to do? I'm going to keep fighting through, and we're going to try to win.
It seems like just about every year you've had some unfortunate late season injury. Do you ever feel just unlucky or snake bit? That the timing, it just always seems to happen right around playoff time.
It's a part of the game. It's a part of the game, and I accept whatever comes with that. You know, I told you guys that I've submitted myself to doing whatever it takes to win, and some things come with that. But ultimately, you just got to make the adjustments you need to make to be able to play at a high level. There won't be any excuses going in or coming out.
Listen, I'll tell you what, bottom line is that he's banged up. And if the Commanders want to win the game, they need to rough him up some more. Like, take it for what it's worth. The guy's had a concussion. He's got a bad knee. Now they're trying to pretend like it's not a problem. I think everyone that, plays in the NFL realizes it's pain day. I mean, and here's the league trying to go to 18 games, anything to make more money in their coffers. Meanwhile, they can't even play 17 games without every single guy on every team being crippled by the time it's over. So up Cripple Creek, and just like the Grateful Dead, I just think that this guy's banged up because they play so many effing games. And then the playoff game, he got even more banged up. So in my view, you want to win the game, bang him up some more. Ragdoll his ass. I mean, first of all, he's not as good as this kid. This kid, Jaden Daniels, better than him, flat out. That's all there is to it. I don't care if he's got more experience. I don't care if he's played in the Super Bowl. He lost. He lost the game. I hear all this all the time. Oh, he's been in a big game, and yeah, he lost. Okay, so let's see him win it before we start giving him flowers. I think the kid, Jaden Daniels, can flat out play better than him, and I think he can beat him outright in Philly at the Link. Outright. You heard me. Outright.
Here's a guy you're going to like. This is Washington defensive coordinator Joe Witt Jr. You always say here on the show, what do you need to do? Kill the quarterback. That's what it's all about. And your boy Joe here says that if Jalen Hurts is healthy enough to start running around, that's precisely what they plan on doing.
We've had a number of these guys that we've had to prepare for. And so the one thing is if he's going to run the ball and if the coordinator makes a decision for him to run the ball, we're going to treat him like a running back. And we're going to hit him that way. So that's their decision. Right. If they want to get him hit the way that he gets hit. If they don't, they'll keep him in the pocket. So, but that's what we're going to do.
Yeah, my man. Hit him. Now listen, that's the first guy I've heard all year on this show admit that it's pain day. It's time to deliver pain. This is about hitting. Knock his ass out. Game over. Now listen, people are, oh my God, did he just say that he wants someone to get injured? Damn
well, they're all riled up in Philly about it. They're all riled up in Philadelphia about him.
Whatever. Kiss my ass. I hope they hurt him. I do. I live for it. Not only that, if you think I'm kidding, like I said it before, I'm going to say it loud and clear here. I want the Buffalo Bills to decapitate Patrick Mahomes. Decapitate. Boom. Head. Off shoulder.
second full year under new ownership to really be where they are right now for this Commanders franchise is one of the best stories of this NFL season.
Went to the playoffs and won 2 road games. Now we're going to use that. Hey, rookie quarterback on? No more rookie quarterback. He's already arrived in the NFL as a legitimate quarterback. And can you say, Ben, is he already top 5?
The Early Line. Only on SportsGrid.
He did nothing for 5 weeks. So he's becoming his brother. So I don't want to hear about how great T.J. Watt is with his 0 playoff wins. And he's the first guy to admit it. He comes right out and says, I've never won a playoff game. I don't matter. All right, at least we all know who the best player on the team is. It's George Pickens. If you don't believe that, well, then screw you, too.
Ferrall, coast to coast. Only on SportsGrid.
We'll see if they get McCain back. Kelly Oubre, Yabusele's been good. Caleb Martin's a defensive specialist. Andre Drummond can still give you, almost a double-double at any point. I can't go south on this team. And now you're giving it to me at 2-1 to make the playoffs? To be in the Final 8? Folks, give me the Philadelphia 76ers to make the playoffs at plus 210.
Betting above the rim. Only on SportsGrid.
We all know MVPs don't win the Super Bowl. It's not about MVPs, man. The only MVP, fine. Win the MVP in the Super Bowl. Nobody cares about the MVP in the regular season besides people that bet on it, the actual player themselves, and their agent that's getting a cut of the bonus money. Other than that, who cares? What do you care who wins the MVP? Like I said, unless you bet on it. Right? If you bet on it, fine. Then I guess you care.
Sports Rage tonight. Only on SportsGrid.
All right, Carver High, we continue on here. I want to hear on the Commanders side.
Yes, of course, here is Dan Quinn. First year for him, first year for Jaden Daniels. Underdogs, yes, in our eyes, but in their eyes, absolutely not.
We just don't let the outside narrative kind of drive it. And internally, we've got a lot of expectations about how we can play and what we do, but we never, went too far outside of things. Did we feel dismissed or put off? Yeah, of course some. I think that happened in the opening game. I felt dismissive. Hey, man, hang in there. It's going to be a long time. I was like, hey, F you, that's not how it's going to go down. And I was upset. But it wasn't disrespect. It was dismissiveness. And I felt some kind of way, but it didn't motivate me more to say, that's how they think of us. It wasn't disrespect. It was we're going to be a lot better than what we just showed today. And eventually we'll show that. So it's not a prove it to everybody else or underdog story. It's, it's how we get down. This is not a 7-game series. And so, we got to play our best on Sunday at 3 o'clock. And that, to me, is the biggest factor.
I like what he said. That's how we get down. I mean, let's get down to business here. Now, look. One of the things for me is that they're so hot and that this quarterback is so supremely confident and lit. He is just on fire, this guy, the way he's playing. At some level, in sports, the team that gets hot and that is, do you remember when the LA Kings didn't lose a game in the Stanley Cup playoff? They just won every single game they played and they won the Stanley Cup. They just never lost. And this team reminds me of that. They're just winning every game. No matter what, they win last-second games, overtime games, playoff games. Now they're in the title game. And now what? All of a sudden they suck? They are going to do what they have been doing. They are winning out. Christ, I won't be surprised at all if they win the Super Bowl. That's how hot they are. Now, in my view, and I hit the Rams 6.5. I mean, the Rams had the ball at the 20-yard line. First down to win the game, and they didn't get it done. They blew it. They had the Eagles by the balls. That's all there is to it. Philadelphia is not hot. They played one game, and they got lucky that they won. Now they're running into a juggernaut that's on fire. Have fun with that. I'm telling you, sometimes to me, momentum and hot, don't mess with that. I'm telling you.
6.5, 47.5. Been that way for the last couple of days. I am going to take the 6.5. I don't know if I have your confidence in them winning the game outright, but I will be with you with the 6.5. And I'm up and away here with the 47.5.
And they all said that they wouldn't beat the Lions either. And I said they'd beat them outright, and I took the spread. I'm going to do the same thing until it's proven wrong. And look, I don't deny that the Eagles are good and that Barkley's good and their defense is good and the Link is tough to win in. I don't deny that. I know that Philadelphia can win the game. I'm not stupid. But I'm going to the grave with it. I'm going with the hot team and the hot quarterback and the better quarterback and the team that's just, they're so confident right now and so lit right now and so in charge of their faculties right now. What they're doing is they're destroying teams. And what they did to the Lions was unbelievable. They just absolutely crushed them like a bug. And everyone thought that they were the best team. Now that everyone's saying, the Eagles are too much for the Commanders. They're just unbeatable. It's the Eagles, of course. I mean, God, we're all supposed to be so afraid of the Eagles. Well, I've seen the Eagles before play the Chiefs. How'd that go? Okay, they barely beat the Rams. They're lucky they won the game. I mean, honestly, these people there are half nuts, okay? I lived there. I worked there. I did the Eagles pregame. Don't tell me that I don't know Eagle fans. I mean, these are the biggest lop of drunks I ever met in my life. They're crazy. How about the guy that yelled "see" at the girl for 4 hours? He lost his entire life and career, his job, everything else. These people are idiots, and they think they're never going to lose a game ever. They're going to lose a game Sunday at 3 o'clock. That's what they're going to do at 3 o'clock this Sunday, lose another big game. How do you like them apples? I'm not kidding.
There you go.
One of the weirdest nicknames I've heard in fighting. There's people have some strange nicknames at times, but the Lemon Killer. What do you even make of that? What is that about?
I don't even know what that means, but I'm gonna squeeze him like a lemon on the day we fight, and he's gonna pop.
Only on SportsGrid.
What if he gets Kellen Moore? See that guy, right? He was like supposed to be the coach in waiting when he was the offensive coordinator. Is that enough? Like, does Jerry pull the trigger for that? Or does he pull the trigger for Dion?
Mike McCarthy would have not let this play out this way unless he had a job. So I think McCarthy already has the New Orleans job.
Game time decisions. Only on SportsGrid.
Your gut says Miami is going to win, and you should take the over. Your gut also said your NFT selfies would only go up in value. They didn't. But your head is on SportsGrid and knows the QB is in concussion protocol. The backup has a 45 QBR against the zone coverage. The New York D has the most sacks in the league. So yeah, trust your head. It's smarter to be on SportsGrid.
We all know MVPs don't win the Super Bowl. It's not about MVPs, man. The only MVP, fine. Win the MVP in the Super Bowl. Nobody cares about the MVP in the regular season besides people that bet on it, the actual player themselves, and their agent that's getting a cut of the bonus money. Other than that, who cares? What do you care who wins the MVP? Like I said, unless you bet on it. Right? If you bet on it, fine. Then I guess you care.
Sports Rage tonight. Only on SportsGrid.